within Woodlands, just around Chido Road. Hi.
And once again, welcome to Property Focus Radio program brought to you courtesy of Horizon Properties, and I'm your host, Nono Zaza. Tonight on the show, we focus a little on the marketing side of business from Horizon Properties. But before we get into tonight's business, here's a notice to all clients that have bought land from Horizon Properties. Now, Horizon Properties Limited are committed to delivering faster services efficiently and effectively to all their customers, and they pledge to place integrity, honesty, and diligence at the heart of their service delivery. However, they advise their customers that the obligation to protect your interest in the purchase of properties is solely upon you. They wish to strongly advise that you exercise the following simple due diligence measures to secure your property. Ensure that the property is fenced up at its boundaries to prevent squatters, trespassers, illegal entry, or encroachment by third parties. Inspect the property from time to time to stay up to date on any suspicious developments on the ground. Assign a responsible diligent caretaker or overseer, preferably one who is a member of the local community, to keep a lookout on the property if you do not intend to commence developments immediately. Always consult a registered surveyor, Horizon Properties officers, to assist in beacon sitting and boundary verification whenever unsure. Consult a registered surveyor to assist with site beacons and verify boundaries before you commence development on your property. And ensure that you obtain the requisite statutory approvals before commencement of development works. Now, Horizon Properties will not bear responsibility or liability for any squatters, trespassers, illegal entry, or encroachment on a property by third parties beyond the conclusion of the sales transaction. They therefore advise all their customers to exercise and apply the above measures as much as possible to avoid being inconvenienced. We now listen to a presentation by Dr. Soko Mpindi, CEO from Horizon Properties.
Greetings from Horizon team, and welcome to this evening's program, the Property Focus program brought to you by Horizon Properties. And we thank you for the support and coming forward to take opportunities that we have created for the Zambian to access land. Land is very, very important for everyone because it creates a sense of ownership and anchors stability in families and individuals. This evening, I'm here to remind you of the need to be cautious when you're purchasing land or property. Most especially, I'll focus mainly on land. Because we observed that a lot of people, a lot of individuals are being swindled, defrauded out of the hard-earned money, and therefore it's incumbent upon us as experts and leader in the market to give caution to the public. I'll take you through some of the points that you need to understand or be aware of before you transact. It's very critical and necessary to know the owner of the land and indeed the authority with which the seller has been invested with. Because there are several individuals and companies that have become land developers without paying attention to the necessary requirements relating to land administration. It is surprising to see that a number of companies are purporting to be land developers, but the way they practice leaves a lot to be desired. Number two is very important. If it's a company selling land, you are advised to search for the registration of that company at PACRA. You cross-check and also its physical address. It's very important to know the physical address and affirm that this is their physical address. They are not on transit. Number 3, establish how of what you expect. You find out, is it their core business or it's a by-the-way business? So you need to be cautious on all these points I'm mentioning. They can save you a lot when you are making decisions towards the purchase of land. What is also very important is to establish and know the piece of land, particular piece of land, location of what you're intending to buy. Never be lazy to go and inspect the land you are buying. If it's property that is on title, it's very important to do a verification of the availability of that land. You may get a surveyor, a private surveyor, engage a private registered surveyor, land surveyor, to establish the location, who further will go and verify at the means of at the survey department or the location site plan whether actually that piece of land is located at that position, that location. So this is very, very important. As you're aware, most, like 60%, 70% of the land in Zambia is under customary administration. So getting land from the chiefs or being the headman, make sure you are a resident in that particular area and known by the headman. And the headmen have been very generous that even if you're not living there, they will introduce you and register you in the village register book. Because that's the first step for you if you want to convert from customer tenure to lease tenure. For information, customer land is convertible to statehood. Cap 184, Lands Act, Section 8, Subsection 1, authorizes the conversion of customer land to leasehold, and it states that notwithstanding Section 7, after the commencement of this Act, any person who holds land under customer tenure may convert it into leasehold tenure not exceeding 99 years upon application in the manner prescribed. So this is very important that these steps are taken so that you have the opportunity to convert the customer tenure into leasehold. Furthermore, subsection 2 of Section 8 states that conversion of rights from a customer tenure to leasehold tenure shall have effect only after the approval of the chief and the local authorities in whose area the land to be converted is situated. So this one tells you that it's very important that you are in the village register book by Herman and you are known by the chief, because to convert land from customer tenure to leasehold, you need the authority of the chief. So it's very important that these steps are taken and caution taken, and you are not misled. So the other important aspects of property purchase is that when the land, the property, is in the hands of an administrator, you need to see a court order authorizing the sale. An administrator is not authorized to sell property or land without a court order. And if the property is in the hands of trustees, all trustees must consent and authorize to make sure that the trust, and also make sure the trust is registered. You should not buy land from a fake trust. Getting land from, for example, from a property which is co-owned, let both owners consent to the sale, and the payment must be paid to both equally. Money should not be transferred to anyone's account without seeking authority from the other owner, because the transaction might be challenged. If you're buying land or property through a representative of the owner, the representative must have legal authority to sell on behalf of the owner. This power of attorney presented to you, please check the authenticity of that property, of that owner authority. I hope you are coming close to your objectives of the year towards investing in property and land. And if not, there's still an opportunity in this period to move towards achieving your strategy, your property investment strategy or goal. So it's very important that we focus more on land, because land is affordable, and Horizon Properties has created opportunities, vast opportunities, valuable opportunities that you can tap into and achieve your objectives. We will continue to guide you on matters of property transactions and land matters.
Horizon Properties, the real property merchants, offers proficient, time-tested real estate services to all property buyers and sellers. Are you selling or letting? Looking to buy or lease property? We sell and let residential, commercial, and industrial properties, farms, and small holdings throughout the country. Our pride is in offering tailor-made services to meet the unique needs of each client, coupled with innovative, effective marketing tactics for each property. Before you buy a plot of farmland, check if Horizon Properties doesn't have it at a cheaper price. Come and experience the proficiency that makes Horizon Properties stand out from the rest. Tried and trusted to deliver to its customers' expectations. We have offices in the following locations: Woodlands Head Office, in Kablonga, on the alley behind Osaka Hotel. Horizon Properties, the real property.
Listening to Property Focus, brought to you courtesy of Horizon Properties. Now joining me in the studio this evening, Mbawe Adrian, who is the Sales and Listings Coordinator. We also have Rebecca Tongo, Sales and Projects Officer, and we're also joined by Lutanda Kauta, Sales Executive, all from Horizon Properties. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Nono, and thank you so much for having us.
Okay, Adrian, your reaction there to the doctor's presentation?
Many of the times that we've heard stories of how people have lost their money, or how people almost lost their money in the hands of these fake land traders or developers, like Dr. puts it in the presentation. So this information comes to you at the right time, because you know the times that we live in now, you can't just go about transacting anyhow. Where you just wake up and you feel you need to want to plot this side without checking anything, you just move in and give someone the money that you've worked for. So the best you can do is pay attention to what we present to you tonight, especially what doctors presented on. And maybe if you joined the presentation halfway and you didn't get maybe the first part of it, or you missed out on something and you want clarity, or you simply have questions, you've gotten the presentation but you want maybe him to explain a certain point, or maybe a situation, or you have an experience with these developers or these traders, people who are out there trying to sell fake land and all that. The best you can do is send us an email to info@thehorizonproperties.com. What we want is to hear from you that experience, or maybe give us a question so that we're able to answer them and tell you exactly what you need to do, because most of the situations present themselves differently. So don't be a victim. Ask those questions by sending an email to info@thehorizonproperties.com and we'll gladly be of help.
All right. Let me bring in Derek now. Now, what stories are emerging from the Horizon Green Village that shows that it's more than just a housing project? And I know last week you did spend a little more time there trying to explain everything about the Green Village, the importance of the Green Village, and why people should actually buy into the project of the Green Village.
Yes, Nono, and I would like to thank you that you have given me yet another opportunity for us to actually dive into the Green Village and actually discuss even more about the project. So indeed, different stories I imagine, Nono, from the Horizon Green Village, and indeed it shows that it's just more than a housing development, a housing project. Okay, so some of the stories that are coming out, Nono, we would like to confirm, and I think he would like to agree with people that have bought into the project and the news that they are sharing. Okay, so one of the story that is topping on the agenda is that the Green Village, it's a project that advocates for sense of responsibility from the buyers. Okay, so this Nono gives a picture of what the Green Village is. Okay, it's not just a housing development, but it gives, or rather it inculcates that sense of responsibility from those that are buying into the project. And some of the issues that I can actually attribute that to is people own plots beyond the documentation that we give them. Okay, because we're very clear about the vision of the Green Village. People are supposed to maintain the environment must be green, because the Green Village is mainly anchored on sustainability. And people have bought into that. People are planting different species of trees on their respective plots. And also people have actually adopted the sewer system that we introduced in the gated community, which is the biodigester sewer management system. Okay, because people now are beginning to realize that this is a sewer system that is very sustainable, a sewer system that does not compromise the environment in any way, but a sewer system that is able to even give them a biogas as the end product that they can use as an alternative, as a source of energy. Okay, and I think another aspect that we have done, I think this, usually we don't shed more light on this aspect of the project, is that we have actually an aspect that we're calling the Homeowners Association. Okay, it is a constitution, but also it empowers the buyers to actually take full responsibility of what they want to see within the gated community. Because we understand that it is only when these people that are buying into this gated community, they assume the leadership roles for them to actually advocate for what Horizon Properties envisioned when we started that project. Okay, and this association has been formulated, and people have actually gotten different positions, and we're happy that very soon we begin now to see people now taking up those leadership roles and advocate for these things that we're talking about, because we understand that for that community to stand the test of time, it will take the same people to advocate for what they want to see. What kind of a lifestyle do they want to see? What kind of amenities do they want to see around? How can they maintain them? These infrastructures that we've put in place, like the water system, the sewer system, and also the road network that we've done, how do they sustain all these aspects of the project? So this particular aspect of the project, goes to show that this is more than a housing development, okay? Because we understand that there are some that have established different housing projects in different places, where everything is dependent on the person that actually maybe brought up that idea of building that gated community. Okay, but for us as Horizon Properties, we understand that this is more than a housing development, and people should be able to take responsibility of the kind of life that they want to live within the gated community. I think another point that I would like to bring to your attention, is that it's a project that blends nature with modern living. Okay, like I alluded earlier, this is a project where people are able to protect the environment. People are alive to the fact that for them to actually not compromise the future needs of the next generation, it is what they are doing now. Okay, and when you come to the Green Village, you actually agree with us that people are maintaining that environment to be green and clean. People have adopted other sources of energy away from the electricity that is there. Okay, people have done the solar panels on their roofs. People are able to adopt different kind of energy. Others have actually done like solar geysers and other things just to show that they are committed to what we're trying to put across as the main developer of that project. So this is a project where people have actually identified different aspects of maintaining the environment, but and also just looking from an aspect of modern living. So modern living, what are we talking about? We're talking about the quality of structures that people are building. We're talking about the orderliness in terms of the structures that people are building, the planning aspect. Okay, how do they want their houses to look like? So you find that people are not running away from the modern aspect, okay, but they are also equal to the task to make sure that they are adopting these practices that we have put in place for them to make sure that the environment is not compromised, because that community, we want it to live for a test of time, and many generations to come, they will benefit from that gated community. So whatever people are doing in the now, they must be able to picture it in the next few years to come, because we understand that people that will come after them, or even their children that will live in the houses that they are building, obviously they wouldn't want to live houses that are substandard. Okay, at least quality must be guaranteed. At least the environment must be able to be preserved, so that those that are yet to come, they should also benefit from that environment. That is why we're putting measures, like I mentioned earlier, the biodigester sewer management, because we understand that that sewer system does not compromise the environment in any way, but it is very sustainable. Another point that I would like to mention, is that it's a project that gives an opportunity to different classes of people to have access to a well-planned settlement to experience modern living. Okay? We understand that different gated communities that have been established, either in the past or those that are coming up now, this is an aspect that a lot of them neglect, because you find that they are coming up with different gated communities with a specific audience in mind. Maybe you are targeting those that are on the upper class. Okay, you want them to live in different mansions, houses that have been built that can only be affordable to those that are within the upper class. But for us as a Green Village, and also as Horizon Properties, when we're coming up with this gated community, we realize that the access to affordable land and affordable housing, it's a prerequisite for people to live in a decent shelter. Okay, so we understood that in as much as this gated community appeals to the upper class, but we made it more affordable for different classes of people to afford. Okay, and when you come to the Green Village, we are happy to report and also to communicate to those that are listening to us that the gated community that were built within the east part of Lusaka, it is being accessed by different classes of people. There are entrepreneurs there, there are civil servants there, there are people from the private sector, there are people from the public sector, there are people that are doctors, there are people that are accountants. Different classes of people are able to afford a plot within the Green Village. Why? It is because it is part of the vision that we had as Horizon Properties. Remember, we've always mentioned that the three principles where the Green Village is anchored on is 1, sustainability, 2, affordability, 3, there's modernity. So the affordability aspect has enabled different classes of people to come on board so that they can buy into this gated community and experience modern living. Okay? By modern living, we're talking about amenities that has been planned to be within the gated community. Okay? We want it to be an independent gated community where people can be able to access different commodities, different services within the gated community, thereby contributing to the economy of this country. Because we understand that Chongwe area, and when you look at the Green Village, that is the future. And that will bring an impact in terms of the economic activities that will be taking place there. So different people are buying into these gated communities because it's affordable. It is not only meant for a specific class of people, but for us, our business is to make sure that we're offering a service and different classes of people are able to afford and buy into this gated community so that they can be able to be part and parcel of this modern living that we're trying to advocate for.
Interesting. Now, how is the Horizon Green Village project shaping up as a lifestyle destination? And how can prospective buyers look forward to when they want to come to the ventures?
Okay, so when you talk of how the Green Village is shaping up as a lifestyle destination, first and foremost, we need to agree that because of what I mentioned, you realize that people now that are buying into this gated community, they are now shaping up to have the same values and the same responsibilities, okay? Because we're setting a vision to them. We're not just selling land to them, but we're setting a vision to them to say, this is what we envision. This is what we want you to do. This is what you need to do within this gated community. So people now have got the same responsibilities. People now are sharing the same values, okay? Which is now shaping the kind of lifestyle that people live within the gated community. I'll give an example. There are green spaces that were left around the complex, and also there are play parks that will be there. That gives you an idea, that different families will be able to actually visit these open spaces, be able to share the same values, and also maintain these amenities that we're trying to put in place. Why? Because we believe that we're not just selling land, but we're selling a lifestyle where people should buy into it and be able to maintain it. Okay, so the first point that I would like to mention is that people now are looking forward to have shared values and responsibilities. Okay, that is what we anticipate. Another thing that people should actually look forward to is the fact that people now have access to different amenities. And these amenities, obviously, they will need to be maintained. Okay, if we talk of a hospital, that hospital will be serving the people within the gated community. So those people have the responsibility to make sure that that hospital is neat, that hospital is clean, and that hospital is able to provide the service that it intends to do. Same as the shopping mall, schools, and other things. Because we understand that these people will have access to these amenities, but at the same time, they will be responsible for these amenities to be there so that they can continue accessing services as well as commodities from these amenities. So that is what people should look for. Another point that I would like to mention is that people should look forward to quality of houses and infrastructure. Like I mentioned earlier, people are buying into this gated community. Not that they are just buying mere land and they can just build in whichever way they want. Okay. Chongwe Council is on board to make sure that they are able to check the quality of structures that have been built. Again, Horizon Properties is on board to make sure that the quality of houses that are being built, they meet the required standard. But also the infrastructure development that we are taking there, it shows that once people are buying, they should look forward to having quality structures and also having infrastructure development that will be able to actually define the kind of lifestyle that they will live there. But again, like I mentioned, the main point that we're mentioning is that people who have values that are similar, people who share responsibility to make sure that they are living a lifestyle that they have always intended to live, but obviously with the vision that Horizon Properties established.
All right, thank you so much. You're listening to Property Focus. We're going to take a short break. Do stay tuned.
The Lusaka is among the fastest growing cities in the southern region.
Hi, my name is Derek Katong, the Sales Projects Officer for Horizon Properties. We're coming to you from our Kablonga offices, which is located along the Chido Road, just by Old Kablonga Shopping Center at shop number 8. Remember, Horizon Properties only has 3 offices within Lusaka. We have our head office in Woodlands, just along the same road, which is Chido Road, just right opposite Woodlands A Primary School. We also have offices within town, just on the alley behind Lusaka Hotel. Are you a client that you have come across a property that someone told you to say this property is being sold by Horizon Properties, yet you are taken to a different location? We're here to confirm that it's either you come to our Kablonga offices.
Farmland. Well, the rain's obviously a little far, but a little closer. What are some of the farm plots that listeners should be considering right now as they plan to purchase land?
Okay, so maybe as I talk about farmland, and of course maybe the buzz that is always there with regards to farmland, I would want to also state, like we've always done, to say you don't wait to buy land, you buy land and wait. I think that statement just speaks to exactly what I'm going to say, because the belief has always been like, if you buy a farm, then you should be in a position to plant maize and maybe also do vegetables here and there, because that's what we've grown to know. But I think of late we've shared here on the show a number of times where we've explained what you can do with the land. Despite getting land to plant vegetables or do with it as you please, you can also just buy land to keep. Because the many farms that you see around Lusaka now, where you hear of no Patawakulis have a plot C, here the people subdivided and did this. This is exactly what they did when they had the time. All they did was take advantage of the opportunities that were present there, like buying land, and kept until a time like now when their lands have gained value and they're getting the returns out of them. Others even 20 times more than what they bought the lands for. So don't just look at these particular farms which I will present as something you can just get now and maybe plant maize and all that. So if you're in a position to get and start using them just now, well and good. It still works for you, because over time, in as much as you're planting or putting that land to use, the land still gets to appreciate in value. But if you're someone who has the money and may not be in a position to maybe drive to Chihuahua, for instance, every weekend to do those farming activities, you might as well get the land, secure it, and keep it for the future. Like we've always said, the land which we have in Chihuahua right now, I've explained so many times on the show to say, this is land which is like a gold mine. It's just like that. The only thing that we've said on the show so many times, I've said it, Rotanda has said it, and we've said it's just a road that is missing in the equation, of which the road is on the Robert Zil Road.
The alternative road, that is.
Yes. There is a road right now which we can use using the Chilun route, but Robert Zil Road presents the perfect access that you can ever get, because when this road is open, Robert Zil Road is open, you realize to say it will only take you roughly around maybe 40 minutes to drive from Kablonga all the way up to Chihuahua where the farms are. I've used it before. One of the times in its state, it only took me 1 hour 30 minutes to drive from Kablonga to Chihuahua. And this is spaces where we've put up 50 acres of land at only 350,000 kwacha. We also have 20 acres of land at only 160,000 kwacha. We also have 5-acre pieces of land which we are selling at 50,000 kwacha only. But these are spaces, like I said, where given a year or two, depending on what happens to this road or the many developments that are going there, because moreover the land that we've been advertising, a number of people have bought. So the amount of land that we had when we started advertising sometime last year is not the amount of land that we have now. And the best you can do is get on the bus. I don't know if that's the right way to use.
Get on board. In some second bus.
So get on board, like you said. So get on board and make sure to say you take advantage of these particular listings. Talking of Chihuahua itself as an area, you realize to say even the quality of developments, like Derek put it, of what's happening with the Green Village. This site, the place defines itself, and it has some sort of aligned itself more towards tourism. And you know, when you get to such spaces, once certain things begin to happen in that particular area, the prices of land definitely go up in no time. So before the prices of land go up in that particular area, like in Chihuahua, the best you can do is to secure your loan now. You don't want to be that person tomorrow who will come here and say no. But last time, some 2 years ago, was a farm was 350. By then, she would move to $1 million. And trust me, there's nothing as frustrating as that. I've seen it. A lot of people have come through, asking even my very good friend Mr. Kahuta here to say no. You guys are close quarter floors. Your time. Most of them 250. This time around, you find that at 500p, and someone is just shocked that they can't afford. Because then they had the money, but they decided not to buy. Now, when they feel they can afford that particular price, the price has doubled. So, farms in Chiawa, like I said, 50 acres for only 350,000 kwacha. We have 20 acres at 160,000 kwacha. We also have 5 acres at 50,000 kwacha. Then, aside from Chiawa, we also have land. Like I said when I started, don't wait to buy land, buy land and wait. We have 5 acres of land in Mwachipompola, which is Chisamba. So 9 kilometers from the third Old Mumbo Road up to the farm. Power already on site, and the price for a 5-acre lot is only 100,000 kwacha. So also Chisamba, we know the history of Chisamba. If I'm to put it this way, back then there was a lot of land here where people sell land very cheap, but like you've seen, Lusaka is growing, and now we have the dual carriageway. So a lot of people now prefer to stay at the farm and drive to Lusaka for work because there's no space in Lusaka. There's nowhere you're going to build a house here and put up a garden, put a swimming pool. If you want that luxury, you have to move out. So the more people are moving out, the more land is becoming scarce. And you know, the many people that are moving out of Lusaka now to stay at the farm are getting bigger chunks of land. And when you look at how Chisamba is, most of the lands which is closer to the Great North Road is covered by bigger farms and mostly owned by bigger farmers. And for you to find land now, which is 9 kilometers from the tarmac, it's also a gold mine, I would say, like I said, about what I said about Chiao. It's something you can't afford to miss. Where's where power is? We don't know if we move from there and we move to the other side, which will be like less than 30 kilometers away from the tarmac. If at all that there will be power and there will be network, and it will be as accessible as this one is. So the best you can do is get on board, like I said, get yourself a 5-acre portion of land in Chisamba at only 100,000 kwacha. Don't get scared of the price and say, but in Iband P, negotiate at 50 as of now. We have installment plans where you can come on board, review, and then we'll give you a plan. So, you know, this you pay now, then this you pay it in this period. So, payment plans are mostly tailored according to, of course, we need so we'll sit down with you. There's what we can't go beyond, and there's what we mostly offer to say, no, we can pay within this period, which is okay. But in certain times, we've stretched because we understand to say we need to save you. So 5 acres of land, like I said, in Chisamba for only 100,000 kwacha. And then we also have land in Mongole. So Mongole, the story is known. A lot of people are selling residential plots there, and ours are farms, 5-acre portions of land. And like those that are selling my 20 by 20, my 20 pin and all that, we still have 5-acre portions of land with documentation in place. Titles are being gotten by people. We are getting titles for these lands, for those people who are actually buying into them. And the price is only 150,000 kwacha. If you want to come through to the office, see what's there, see the documentation that is there, so that you know say what you're buying into is genuine. And then go on the ground and view and get your portion, get yourself a 5-acre at only 150,000 kwacha. That's 5 acres. Give it a year or two. However, who is possible about 20 by 20, they'll come and approach you and say, no, sell us your land because you want to do something there. So the best you can do is buy land in Mongolia now and don't wait to buy land. We also have land in Chongwe, 5-acre portions of land, 11 kilometers from the third greatest road, on a very good road, power on site and everything. Price only 150,000 kwacha. If you can't afford to get what's at 150,000 kwacha, we have other portions almost about 5 kilometers from where these portions are. The ones which are 11 kilometers, and the price is only 80,000 kwacha. Then still on the Chongwe direction, we have 5-acre portions of land, 14 kilometers from the Great East Road, which we are selling at only 75,000 kwacha. So all these are portions of land which you can't afford to miss out. Why I'm saying so is because, like we've always said, land is it's finite. Maybe that's the right way. They are not making it anymore. The best you can do is, if you want to stay near Lusaka, you want to have a farm nearby, the best time to buy is now. Because the more you wait to say, I'll buy a farm next year, others are buying. And you are simply pushing yourself further. Because if you can't get what's close now, what you find yourself is that space of good land you see? Down and after the falls of Pasha somewhere there. If it's a job. If it's on the Great North Road, you find yourself after Kawe somewhere there before coming. You see? So the best you can do is now when you see of these lots at these affordable prices, come on board and make sure to say you secure a lot.
Okay. Now, which areas and listings captured the most interest this month? I know May is about to end. May has been very busy. And what makes them so attractive from a buyer's perspective?
Well, I think what makes any parcel of land is just like Mr. Bewe even mentioned, the fact that it's finite. So when everybody has, or rather when most of that land in that particular area has been bought off, then everybody gets to see that, okay, look, I also need to jump on board in that area before it absolutely finishes and becomes more expensive if it becomes, say, a third or fourth generation resale. Again, I choose those words deliberately because basically all parcels of land at this point are resales for the most part, if they're not getting converted from customary land to state land. So now it becomes a fifth, seventh generation resale where it's traded hands 5 times and everything. That means each person who's selling, they're adding an appreciation over time to that parcel of land. So take for instance Lilai, Benzogulama 50 acres and whatnot before. Obviously from the people that had converted it into state land. And then now they start subdividing into 5 acres. And the people that were quick enough or had the funds at the time to buy the land at when it was going in 5-acre portions bought. And now those people have come again. And this is how come I said first, second, third generation. Because most of the land that is being sold right now is being sold from the small holding capacities that they'd bought of 5 acres into smaller lots now where people are getting 40 by 30s, 20 by 30s, of which are really the standard plot sizes, and 30 by 30s, which is in the in-between of the two plot sizes. So when the coordinator, Mr. Mbewe Adrian, comes on and says, don't wait to buy land and wait, this is exactly what we mean. Be the people who are part of the generation of reselling, not just buying my 20 by 30s at the end time, but instead to buy it while it's a bigger lot so that it can be subdivided later. And that's how come this is also another way of saying land banking in the farmland areas and things of that sort. But instead, now here, we are talking about the hot listings that we have in the residential side now. If we get to the residential side, we're talking about smaller lots of land. We're talking about AMA 20 by 30s, 40 by 30s, and plot sizes of that nature in extent. So, however, to just tackle that a little bit, what happened is that in this week, or last week rather, we had a lot of traffic in Shimabala, of which Shimabala has been receiving a very, very good track record when it comes to selling really of late, because everybody understands that's a very good proximity on the southern side to Lusaka, or rather the CBD, because Shimabala is in Lusaka, so to the CBD. And then, so the traffic that was gotten there was really, really good, and some lots were sold, but what we have right now that is remaining over, which has gained a lot of traffic also, is the Shimabala 5-acre titled plot, which is only 3.2 kilometers after the toll gate and 2.5 kilometers off the Kafue Road. So it's only 2.5 kilometers on gravel road, which is really well maintained by the Shimabala community, so to say, with the CDF, is it the CDF? Yes, Community Development Fund initiative. So the road is well maintained to, of course, the said parcel of land, which is, of course, like I said, 5 acres of titled land, 3.2 kilometers after the toll gate and 2.5 kilometers off the Kafue Road. 5 acres in extent, going at only 875,000 kwacha. So 875,000 kwacha gets you 5 acres of titled land in Shimabala, only 2.5 kilometers from Kafue Road. And among other places really that gained a lot of traffic was the Leopard's Hill site listing that we have, which we mentioned before. We only have a handful of plots in this area. This is, of course, it's only 5 kilometers after Cross Park and 100 meters before Kaingu Rocks. I'm just using these as beacon points because these are areas that people may know. So it's before Kaingu Rocks and 5 kilometers after Cross Park. What we have here are 20 by 30 titled plots
going at 250,000 kwacha only. And I think it is integral to be mentioned that they start from, of course, the tarred road itself. Most of the plots that we had along the road are all done actually. We only have one remaining, and then of course the rest of the site, the 20 by 30s, goes on, where we have a handful of plots. So what we have on the tarred road now, we only have one plot, which is a 30 by 30 in extent, going at 500,000 kwacha. It is right along Leopards Hill Road. So of course it is appealing. It is appealing for commercial use, and of course residential if you so choose to go that way. But it's also very, very, very good for commercial use. It's going at only 500,000 kwacha. It is on title, in a well-secured place. It's fenced all around with game wire, and of course with an entrance. There's already power on site and access to water. Now again, this is only water access to develop your said lot, not to connect your development, so to say. And of course, the 20 by 30s are right on site also, which are going at 250,000 kwacha, 100 meters before Kaingu Rocks and 5 kilometers after Cross Park. Now, the other area that gained a lot of interest, this one I wouldn't even actually say has gained a lot of interest. It has been ongoing and it's a very strong contender on the market, which is Lilai. In Lilai, we have two lots, so to say. One is a site in the sense that it has over 10 plots. 3 were sold last week. We have 9 or so that are remaining on the site now. This one is along Lilai Road. If you're going with Lilai Road, after Petroda, you're going to go to Shaft 5. And literally at the point of reaching Shaft 5, Lusaka Water and Sewerage Shaft 5, before the curve, you turn to the right and move 400 meters to the site. What you're going to find is a 5-acre lot that is already fenced all around. So you're going to find the gate literally 400 meters from Lilai Road. We're going to get there on site. You're going to find it fenced with a gate. You get through the gate, then you're going to see the lot or parcel that is already there. Power is already on site. Again, there's access to water for you to start with your development and everything. What we have here is going at 385 for 20 by 30. These are title plots going at 385 in Lilai, 400 meters from the tarred road, and very good proximity, of course, to all amenities, as everybody knows about Lilai. So another site that we have, or rather another lot of land that we have in Lilai, this time around it's off Kasama Road. So shortly after G Greens, right before the road curves. I don't know how well people know this Kasama Road, so to say. But then we're going to go past Cheers. Now there's a shopping complex right at the G Greens area. There's a shopping complex on the left where Cheers is located now. So you go past that about 250 meters. Then you're going to find a turn to your left before you reach the T-junction of Kasama Road meeting the old airstrip road. When you turn to the right, you're going to go Texila University and Oryx filling station and everything. But then before you reach that T-junction, you're going to turn to the left and then move 100 meters where you're going to find a 40 by 30 plot that is listed at 650,000 kwacha in a developed place, only 100 meters from, of course, Kasama Road, with amenities such as shopping complexes that hold supermarkets such as Cheers, there's a filling station, and of course a hangout spot, so to say, G Greens, and a developed neighborhood around it. What you could use this parcel of land for, looking at the extent of space, is you could build apartments there to put out on rent. You could, of course, buy it to build your dream home, so to say, with ample space for a swimming pool, as the coordinator was mentioning before, and have enough space to have a garden, and of course paved front and some lawn, and obviously your garden in the back, and the swimming pool also. All of this can fit in that lot, and you'd live very comfortably and raise a family, because it is not so to say. So this is where you'd raise your family as you choose or as you like, and not have the outside influences of the said community raising your child for you. And then stranger. So pardon me for that. And this is what we had really when it comes to the hot listings or the areas that were buzzing last week, Mr. Zaza.
All right, thank you, Tanda. Now, we know that every month obviously has a property that is a standout. Which property or project would you say turned heads in May, and why?
This one we're going to then obviously base it on account of sales, or rather sales and traffic, or rather interest expressed on the said lots. It comes again to the strong contender, and maybe I'll also try to break down as to why. It is of course Lilai. We had 3 sales that by sales we mean people that actually committed and made payments or made full payments on the same lots that they saw. But then the number of people that saw and expressed interest and maybe are still organizing funds also gets to speak as to the strength and how strong of the site that it is. Very same Lilai 20 by 30 going at 385 and only 400 meters from Lilai Road. Branching off from the point of Shaft 5, Lusaka Water and Sewerage area. So this is a very, very strong contender in the sense that we had about 5 people express interest that of course are now looking to organize the finances and make payment on that. And then we had 3 deals that were closed aside from the 5 that expressed interest. So that is a lot of traffic in one lot. And then we talk about the other one, the other Lilai site, which we had 2. One left the market in the sense that it was sold on last month rather. And that also speaks as to, now these are both in Lilai. So we're talking about an aggregate traffic of about 14 people that expressed interest in this same area within, of course, a period of a month, with 4 transactions closed. And these are, of course, significant transactions, which we always tell people, look, these are no small monies, and yes, you do need to commend yourselves for actually making the move and being able to close this. So Lilai is a very, very good and strong contender. Now, as to the reason why it has proven itself to be so, is because over the period of time that it has become hot, and it has become hot in the sense that, Ndala, if you have a plot in Lilai, its usability, or rather its what you can use it for, is crosses a number of usages, or rather spectrum. You could, of course, like I said, build apartments, and Lilai has a very, very good traffic when it comes to rentals, in the sense that you would even have, so to say, a waiting list before your property is done. And I do not speak this from without, because there's actually a property that, sadly enough, even I am on the waiting list for this one. So you see, so there's a waiting list already. The property is not done, but then we see the quality of which it is going to be, and then already we've joined the waiting list. Now this then tells the landlord that I say it's a two-bedroom house. Obviously, sadly, with it, the master bedroom is not self-contained, and yet I'm on the waiting list. So are others. Now the landlord is saying it's going at 5,000 kwacha for a 2-bedroom house. Of course, had the master bedroom been self-contained, Mr. Zaza would be talking of at least 6.5. I know the little things do matter, funny enough. So now, already having traffic before your house is done, it tells you that if you do the little touches that people require, beautify your house, so to say, you can almost ask for whatever amount, of course within reason, and people will be there. I almost shot myself. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I'm about to say it. I was going to say, had that landlord been asking for 6,000, then considering the waiting list that is there, Mr. Zaza, I would have also been willing to go that high. I'm hoping he's not listening to this. I would still be on the waiting list, because the location is very good. I'm thinking, some people would worry about distance, but I was living in Lilai before, and I work in Kavlonga. And before, I would actually be moving by public transportation, and I still didn't have an issue with it. And right now, I'm no longer talking about public transportation, so that makes my movements even easier. So I'm not worried about the distance. I know about, say I wanted to get something, a grocery item or whatever I want for my house. It's just a walking distance from where everything is, so to say. Or if maybe it's not in very close proximity, I'll just drive for 5 minutes and I'll be there. That is what this place, Lilai, is offering for people that want to build apartments or rather just reside there. The convenience of it all, Mr. Zaza. And then we talk about, in the same area, of Lilai having a specialized hospital that's coming up, and I believe it's got a bed sitting capacity of about 1,000 or so. Mr. Zaza, you would imagine now we're talking about bed sitting capacity, but then that doesn't mean that's the amount of traffic it will be handling. That would be the amount of people to be able to house. Now think about the type of clientele list for people that will already have apartments and everything, so to say, of that sort. Doctors are going to be coming in, and they will want to reside close to their workplaces. They're going to have nurses, support staff, and administrative staff also that are going to be now running this, or rather managing this machine. And everybody will want to live in that area. It would have created jobs and employment for everybody now that would obviously require, or rather answer the question of housing. They would need the question of housing answered. So this is what is coming up. Apart from the amenities of shopping complexes and shopping malls that, of course, Lilai offers. We're already now talking about the hospital building offering jobs or creating jobs. But what about now the service itself of medication? Already we've got a number of pharmacies that are obviously renting or taking occupation in these complexes and everything. So Lilai is already at its cash cow stage, and people cannot sleep on it. And apparently this is also reflective in the market, in the sense that Lilai is doing very, very well in the traffic that it is getting. And for the lots that we have, if anybody is interested in the 40 by 30, that is 100 meters from Kasama Road, and only going at 650 on individual title, contact me. My number is 0977-800-203, and I'll be able to take you down on site so that you have a physical appreciation of this, and not just Lutanda Zokamba per radio and whatnot, no, but you have an appreciation of what we're actually talking about. And then also the other Lilai, which is the 20 by 30 portions, which are 400 meters from Lilai Road, from Shaft 5, Lusaka Water and Sewerage area. Only 400 meters from the third road, going at 385 on title with power on site. Of course, access to water for you to initiate or start development. Everything is already on site, going at only 385,000 kwacha. Again, payment plans are in order. We could obviously sit down and talk, and then we make such facilities available to you. Again, the number to contact is 0977-800-203. For those that, of course, are interested in these areas and all other listings that we have, and in case you have any property that you'd like to list, come experience, of course, the experience that Horizon Properties is offering out there on the market and the expertise. Have us list your property and see what we'll do for you.
All right. Adrian, as we wrap up our conversation this evening, what are your closing remarks, and what should people look out for?
Because of everything discussed on the show, like I said when I reacted to the doctor's presentation, you can simply send us an email to info@horizonproperties.com. So please, if you're someone who's been listening and want to get through to us, and maybe number, the easiest is to send us an email to info@horizonproperties.com, or better still come to our Kaplonga office, which is shop number 8 on Jindo Road, the old Kaplonga shopping complex, the old building, not Central, the other one that side. So shop number 8 upstairs. And then we also have an office in town on the alley behind Lusaka Hotel. So there we have our offices where you can walk to anytime, provided it's within, of course, the business hours, maybe 17 and maybe 17:30. Better still, you can simply go to our office, which is Northlands, which is our construction support office, right opposite Woodlands A Primary School. And then if you want to get in touch with me for all the properties that we discussed, the farms, and maybe just get an insight into what we do in terms of farmland, you can simply call me or send me a WhatsApp on the number 0777-002756. We have an interesting site which is opening this coming month. If not by Friday, somewhere in Osaka West, we're going to have 20 by 30 plots, of which I think I should be able to share the prices and everything in detail next Tuesday when we come for Property Focus. But for now, stay glued to our pages and benefit from the many listings that we are putting up for sale.
All right. Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming through. Always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure being here.
There you have it. That's it for today's episode of Property Focus. Be sure to catch this next week on Tuesday, just after 18:30, right here on Hot FM. Stay tuned.